What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about my daily watch list, and I post this every single day, Monday through Friday before market opens. I'm going to show you guys. So this is my Discord. If you subscribe, you get the daily watch list. So as you guys can see, I posted a watch list on Friday, on Thursday, on Wednesday. I did not post one because it was FOMC. You can see I posted one on Tuesday and I posted one on Monday. I'm going to show you guys the effectiveness of my watch list. I'm going to show you guys how to use it properly. All right. So this, you can see I posted it. I finished writing this watch list at 8:38, and I posted it on my Discord at 8:47, guys. Okay. If you see here, it says ES is negative 0.09%. So that means at the time that I started writing this watch list, which as you can see here, it was at 7:38 a.m. It says that at the time, ES was negative 0.09%. NQ, which is the NASDAQ, was negative 0.24%. The Dow was 0.02% up, and the Russell was up 0.25%. So that's letting me know at that time that what the futures were looking like. And as you guys can see at the end of market close, ES ended up being up 0.99%. NQ ended up being up 1.26%. YM, which is the Dow, 0.74%, and the Russell was up 2.68%. It's no coincidence. Before the market opened, Russell was the strongest. It was up 0.25%, and the Russell ended up closing at 2.68%. So I like to keep an eye on what the futures are doing, which one is weaker, which one is stronger. And then the next thing I do is I look at economic data for the day. And as you guys can see, we have economic data coming at 8:30, at 9:45 a.m., and then at 10 a.m. So this lets me know that if I see a spike, or to expect some type of price action at these certain times. Let me show you guys what I wrote for ES. I wrote ES has a level at 4350.25. Above that level, my mistake. I wrote we can use that level for shorts if you see a rejection, followed by going under the opening print. Right, so the opening print is the price that the stock or the future or the equity opens at that particular day. And you guys can see that day ES opened up at 43.59. I have a script where it'll automatically draw this blue line for every stock the minute the market opens. Okay. So I wrote if we get a rejection, so if we would have rejected here 43.50 and then followed by going below the opening print, I would have been interested in shorts. But we ended up opening over that level. So shorts were not on the table. So as you guys can see, it has room lower to 42.79. I wrote it had room lower to 42.79. So that means this would have been my target. If we would have rejected right here, if we would have opened below this level and we would have rejected, I would have gotten some shorts and I would have targeted 42.79.5. But since we ended up opening above the level, you guys can see I wrote a break above 4350.25, and there's room up to 4370.5, then 4393. No mistake. We opened above 4350. What did we target? We ended up targeting 4370.5. And then at the end of the day, we ended up being it went as high as 4391.75. So literally a point and 25. We ended up front running the level. But I didn't take calls here on ES because I usually like for the retest, and we broke, but then we got the retest before market open. So if we would have got this candle here at market open, I would have bought some SPY calls. But since we didn't do that, so I didn't end up doing it. But you should have still bought some calls and ended up holding. It was still very good play. Then I wrote for NQ. Let me show you guys NQ. NQ, I wrote NQ a retest in whole of 940, and it has room up into 065.75. A failure to hold that level, and NQ has room down into 743.25. As you guys can see, we broke over 149.40, the level that I wrote, right? I usually cut off the first two numbers just for space purposes. I don't want to write 1490. The number's kind of big, so I just write the last three. So over 940, what did we do? We held the level. And what did we ended up doing? We ended up testing 150.65. But at the time, again, I wrote this at 738. As you guys can see, I was hoping that we was open around this level. And if we would have opened here, we would have held this level. We would have got this green candle. I would have gotten calls, QQQ calls, and my target would have been 065.75, and that target hit. But NQ ended up just ripping, guys. So you guys can see this watch list is very useful. You can use it to trade futures, ETFs, whatever. It's very useful watches. Let me go into YM now. YM is the Dow. I wrote YM. Let me type it for you guys. Let me find YM. I wrote YM has the 200-day at 339.39. It also has a level right above at 33.999. So keep an eye for that zone for possible shorts. For calls on YM, I would like a break over 340.64. It has room up into 343.0. I meant to write 343.00. So that was a little typo there. You guys can see once we broke above 340.64 and held, YM ended up going up pretty nicely. It didn't hit the target, but I expect to hit it sometime this week coming up. So that one worked out pretty well. Let's look at the Russell. What I wrote in the Russell, I put on the Russell a break over 1752.3, and it has room up into 1792.8. It has a nice potential to break out of that downtrend. You guys can see this is the downtrend. You see how we broke up out of that downtrend? You guys can see we broke out. And the Russell ended up going as high as 1779.6. I still expect the Russell to hit this 1792.8 level that I wrote. So it still has room to go. As you guys can see, the watch list is very useful, guys. Very useful. The next one I wrote was Microsoft, right? You saw you guys, Microsoft. What did I write here? I wrote Microsoft, a retest and hold of 347.44. Can look for calls. It has room up into 350.75, 353.9, then 355.48. What did Microsoft ended up doing, guys? It ended up retesting 347.44, and it held the level. So you could have gotten in at once this green candle closed, you could have got in at the candle close, and you would have had a very tight stop loss, and your first target would have been 350.75. Do the math, you would have made easily right here, getting in right here, you would have made easily 200%. And then I wrote first target was 347.44, then 350, then 353.9, then 355.48. So 350, we hit that target. Then the next one was 353.79. It was around right here. 79. You guys can see we got a nice little wick here. It was around here. We got a nice little wick. 353.9, and then we ended up dumping slightly as a slight pullback. So you guys can see you would have made beautiful gains on Microsoft. Let's look at that video. What I wrote NVIDIA and open over 437.32, followed by a spike under the level, then back over the opening print, which is the open. Can look for calls. It has room into 447.19. What did NVIDIA ended up doing, guys? It spiked under the level slightly. It went to 437.23. The level was 437.32. So it spiked under the level. Then it got back over the open, which is the blue. You could have gotten some calls. You would have held. You would have made some great gains on NVIDIA as well, guys. Let's look at Netflix. Netflix. I wrote Netflix and open over 424.32, followed by a spike under the level, back over the open. Can look for calls. Has room up to 436.75. Can trend some at 428.57 and 432.42. Unfortunately, you guys can see Netflix opened above the level. It never retested the level, so I wasn't interested in any calls. So that's why I didn't get in. But it still printed. It went from 425 all the way to 434. It's $11 move. But again, I usually like for a level retest to get in. So Netflix did not give me an entry. But you could have gotten in right here on this nice little pullback. Could have gotten in. You would have made some great money. Next one was Roku. Showing you guys how effective this watch list is. It is a very effective, very effective. I wrote Roku, a break and hold over 79.56 can lift for calls. It has room up into 83.26, can trim some at 81.81. What did Roku do? Roku broke over at first, first candle. It pre-market, it kind of rejected it a little bit. And then it finally broke that 79.56, which is the level I set. A break and hold can look for calls. So you could have gotten some calls right here on the 2 minute or once it was breaking out. And you could have trimmed some. The target was 83.26, but you could have trimmed some at 81.81. So right here, you guys can see, once we got into 81.81, Roku started selling off a little bit. And then finally ended up hitting our 83.26 level. What else I had? I had Disney. I'm telling you guys, this watch list is very effective. I had Disney. I wrote Disney and open over 83.75, followed by a spike lower and back over the open could look for calls. Unfortunately, Disney did not give us the level retest, but what Disney ended up doing? It ended up hitting our level right here, 85.09. As you guys can see, it rejected it. This would have been your profit target. You'd have made great gains here. Great gains here. So guys, this watch list is very, very helpful. What else do I have on the watch list? I had Baba. What I had on Baba. What's going on here? I had Baba. Over 84.71, has room up into 87.85. It broke over 84.70. You see this beautiful retest right here? You guys can see on the 2 minute. It broke over my level, 84.71. This is what I like to see, a break and then boom, a retest. This candle would have been my confirmation to get in. And it ended up going as high as 86.04. It didn't hit the target that I had planned, which was what I wrote, 87.85, but it's still great gains from 84.71 all the way to 86. It's a dollar 30 move, still good gains on Friday. But again, Baba still has room into 87.85. Keep an eye on that. And then we had Shop. Right? I wrote Shop and open over 60.19. Can look for calls, has room up into 62.88. Trend some at 61.4 and 62.04. Shop was my top watch. But what this Shop ended up doing, guys, that I didn't like. So you guys can see the blue line is the opening. Shop open under the level. Okay, my level was 60.19, right? And Shop opened under that level, so that was letting me know that the bulls weren't as strong as I wanted them to be. So I wasn't really interested in this trade. As you guys can see, it went up and it ended up failing. If it would have opened over this level and then it would have went back to retest and it would have held this candle, then it would have been a good trade. But since it opened under my preferred level, I was not really interested in Shop. It still ended up working out. If you would have bought, I guess over this breakout, but I would have personally waited for the break and then the retest. You got a break here in the retest, but it didn't hold very well. It ended up dumping. But again, I wouldn't have took this right here because we were Shop didn't open over that level, so I wouldn't have been interested. I would have been more interested right here. This front run of this level could have gotten in right here. My stop loss would have been under 58.19. And I would have targeted the high of the day. This would have been a great trade, great risk reward. You're risking this much. Let me draw this. You're risking this much right here. Make this red. You're making this much. You're risking this much. And your target would have been high today to make this much. See that? This would have been great gains, guys. Great risk reward here, guys. You guys can see, guys, the watch list is very, very helpful, very useful. I recommend you guys sign up for it, guys. And to sign up, you just go into subscribe. Click this link right here, and this will pop up. For the watch list, you can either get the Ruby, you get the daily watches every day. You can also get the Diamond. The Diamond you get the trade with me live 2 to 3 times a week, mostly 2 times a week, and you also get the watches. Emerald, you don't get the watches, but you still get my signals. My signals still hit really good. You guys can see. Ended up doing 300% on Tesla. Shop ended up going crazy for us. It ended up doing 160%. Amazon 50%. Another Amazon 50%. Nvidia ended up doing the 30%. So the past 2 weeks, I've been green every single day. So again, guys, if you want to join, if you want to know how to trade, join my Discord, guys. Also, I only have one Instagram, guys. Don't get fooled by these other Instagrams, guys. This is the only Instagram I have right here. Let me show you guys. Oh, this is my DMs. You guys see, I don't send nobody no DMs. I will not reach out to you. This is my only Instagram I have. It's Yields with Yodi. This is the only Instagram I have, guys. And that's going to be it, guys. Thank you for your time. Peace.